Hi, everybody. I am Blake Cabot. I am the owner of facepaint.com. And we have, needless to say, yet another sale going on. So we have, I think it's 30% off craze. I think it's 30% off craze now. So go to facepaint.com and get some craze face paint. And so I'm excited to have today Elaine Goh. Elaine Goh has been with us a couple times before. She is a great face painter. She's been on all the other programs. And today we're going to be discussing something that's actually, it's very basic in some levels, but there's techniques and practice, and it's good to know how to do it. And so for those of you that haven't done lots of line work and aren't an absolute expert, this is for you. So I am thrilled to have you, Elaine, and take it away.
Okay, so I'm just going to load up with some white.
So Elaine, what are you going to show us today? How about that?
Okay, I'm going to show you the design.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be showing us how to do line work and the basics of line work?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the first design I'm going to do. I don't know if did you put that up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I've just loaded it with white, and this is a size 3 Aaliyah brush. It's a round Aaliyah brush. And I could just do it in white, but I'm going to add a bit of color to it. So I've just wiped the tip off a little bit, just almost using it like a double dip brush a little bit. And start off in the middle.
Is it your birthday by any chance, Elaine?
Oh yes, it is. I forgot about that.
Somebody pointed out that it was your birthday. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I should have said that somewhere in there. I didn't know.
I forgot to mention it. I was too busy talking to you.
Yeah. So Just Love says happy birthday.
Thank you.
Somewhere we should sing happy birthday out loud.
Oh, thank you.
Except for me singing, which is horrible. I can only sing country western songs, and even those badly. We got a few people from Mexico, clearly some from Australia. Barbara Hill's birthday was on September 5th.
Do a lot of parallel lines.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a little bit tribal-ish.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Now, what do you think the key to making great lines? I mean, what kind of brush are you using? A 2 or?
This is a 3 Aaliyah brush. It's fairly fun.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how to not get my hands in the way. But you'll see when I do the other side anyway. So basically, I like to do one side first. And then the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So the key with line work is having control of, doing the thick to thin or thin to thick to thin. So doing lots of practice. I mean, it's taken me years to get this.
Well, it looks very pretty.
Thanks. Okay.
Scotland, you're up this late? Go to bed right now.
Ready. You know, she said she was going to wake up at 1 o'clock.
She did. That's exactly who it is.
Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Zuri.
Okay. Hi, Zuri. Okay. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions, please ask. Shoot.
Or are you guys painting along with me?
Probably not. Everybody sort of watches. but they watch later, and then they probably practice later.
Okay, so in a lot of my designs, I always have that outline over the eyes as well. I think it looks really pretty and it frames the eyes.
Renee asked your model isn't blinking, so while that's a very realistic photo, that is just a board, and that is her daughter. So her daughter does blink. In fact, there's limits to how much parents control.
So there's another line there.
A fellow New Yorker. Hi, Janet.
Okay, so that's the top done. And then we're going to do the bottom now. Let's see.
So how long would a design like this take in real life?
Usually I tend to make designs up on the spot. Like this is the second time me painting this. The first one was the picture that I showed you before. I just kind of made it up. So I don't know, that's kind of like when I'm just, I don't know, doing, just making things up, which I often do. And when I'm on the job, I often do that as well. I just make things up. Because I don't like to paint the same things.
Barbara was asking, would you put up the names of the materials to purchase? I'd be happy to, Barbara. What paint are you using?
What paint am I using? This one is Wolf, but you could use DFX.
Okay.
And then this is my double dip pot, which is all sorts of brands in there. I like to have a pot that's just for double dipping because, as you can see, like it's not pretty when you're like dipping white or whatever else into the paint.
Yeah, and that is a number 3 brush.
So just framing the eye there. You don't want to go too low. Always, if you have to frame, always make it bigger on the top side than the bottom side. Keep it where, the cheek focal points. And then the next one, I'm going to do this. Okay, so one on each side. So if you paint something and you keep going, you're not going to get it as symmetrical. So the key to having symmetrical lines or designs is doing one thing on one side and then doing it on the other side.
So here's Wolf White for those that need this. A question came in. I noticed line design on another site. Is this something new, or do girls of all ages like this versus a full face?
I don't tend to do this on a job. I mean, this was me just playing around with line work. But to be honest, I could do this on a job quite easily, and quite fast because it's only line work. And like you could do it in white or you just do it in black, but it's kind of like when you use like a double dip technique, it's kind of like using one stroke, but not. I mean, usually one stroke is on a flat brush, but this is like a round brush. So it's kind of, you got extra colors there. So it stands out. So this would be great for maybe masquerade, adults. Kids could love it too. If you want to make it quicker, you could just leave the bottom out and just do the top. You can add some stencils, some glitter, and this is always like, with any design, you can always just do the basic. And then if you want to add stencils, glitter, or eyeshadow, makes it stand out so much more. So you could add a few dots in here as well.
Question came in, how do I correct bent brushes?
Brushes?
Bent brushes. So her brushes get squashed.
Oh, I look after my brushes very well. I think if your brushes are squashed, it's because when you wash your brushes, you're just leaving it like this, and it tends to bend your brushes like this if you leave them there for a while. And whenever I see somebody leaving their brushes to soak, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Got it. Okay. So what's the name of the brush again?
This one is an Aaliyah brush. It's I'm not sure if it's easy to get in America, but I think it does originate from America. But I got mine from a European store that sells a lot of it.
Okay. AHLEA?
ALYAH.
Okay.
So that's it there again. Okay. So
well, we don't sell them, so I'll give you guys a link to the one I found on the web anyway.
Okay. So let's move on to the next one. So I'm not quite going to do this. I'm just going to take some elements out of this one because I'm going to actually use a stencil in the middle. Right. Let me see. Oops, sorry. Right. So I'm going to start off with using Nat's 3/4 flat brush.
Okay.
Now, initially when I bought Nat's brush, I got to admit it was long and I hadn't had very good brush control yet. So it kind of sat aside for a long time. And it's only like, I figured like, because my brush control is pretty good now, I think I could use it now. And I have actually, yeah, it does actually work. I find a lot of brushes, I'll have a lot of brushes, and when I buy them, it doesn't work for me. Some of the brushes is because I haven't quite mastered them yet. I know it sounds silly, but there are some brushes that needs mastering. Yeah, so I like this brush because it holds a lot of paint without it running out, and it's quite vibrant.
Great.
Okay, so I'm going to use maybe this color out of your crease. I'm not sure what color that, you know, the name of it is.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So the key to getting really nice, vibrant colors is to make sure that you activate it and you've got enough on your brush. Otherwise, you run out halfway, which may or might not happen. Okay. I'm just going to mark like my center point. So it gives me, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. So you're talking about having a center point, so that the focal point sort of between the eyebrows above the nose.
Yeah, it just makes sure that I got my area all symmetrical. Otherwise, if I just do one side and then the other side, I think I'm just far too fussy.
Can you move your hand so we can see the brush a little bit? Okay, perfect. Thank you. You know, split cakes are just magic.
There we go. Then we're going to go this way. I'm going to change my brush because I actually, with the other painting, I actually used a different brush actually. I used a 1/2 inch angle. So that's the 1/2 inch angle. Saint Aaliyah.
Erica says you are a line master.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to do.
What do you call this design, by the way?
What do I call it? These are all like princess crowns.
Okay.
So I've done like one on each side, so I know that when I do the other side, it's going to pretty much line up. Okay. And then maybe that's going to be like in the middle space. Okay, so that's the color there. So that's almost dry in the middle. So I'm going to use one of my new stencils from Topaz stencils that Harry Coombs made for me. So just got to see which ones will go in that space. I think I made it a bit small. So let's just see which one.
There you go. That looks like it fits.
What do you think? Have a bit of interaction here. Which one shall I go for? Number 1? Number 2?
It'll take them too long to say.
Or number 3?
Number 1, number 2, or number 3? First choice wins. We got 1 and 2 so far. Well, so it's not 3, I guess is the short answer.
Let's do that one. I'll just, whilst everyone's still thinking, I'm just going to load up my sponge door bar.
We got another 1 and 2. Someone's just got to have to pick something else. We got to break the tie. 2. Two. Everyone wants. There's a couple. Yeah, two's the overwhelming favorite.
2. Okay, that's number 2. Happy?
Oh, we got a couple 3s. Dear Lord, 3 3s, 4 3s, 2s. Go with 2. 2, I think, is the overall favorite.
I'm confused now.
Your video just went off.
Me?
Yes.
Oh. What do I do? Hang on.
I don't know. I can hear you.
Hang on. Decline.
Now we're back. You might want to zoom in again. Topaz stencils. I think you can get those in Australia for sure.
No, you can't. You need to go on the Topaz stencil site. I'll give you the, Kerry, if she's watching, can give you the link.
Sure. I can also post it. I can go find it.
So what I've done is I've sprayed, I'm not going to spray it because it's going to end up on my board, but I sprayed it maybe 2 or 3 times from about that distance. And then I'm going to spray this maybe twice. And I'm just going to do that.
I think this is it.
Now, the thing with stencil, you want to make sure that you test it first so it's not too wet, okay? Make sure you got your middle point.
And you're using a dauber.
Yeah, I'm using a dauber.
To answer your question, Barbara, this video will be on our Facebook page, facepaint.com's Facebook page, and you can see it right after this if you wanted to watch the whole thing.
Now, if you wanted to make it more vibrant, you could wait till it dries a little bit and then go over it again. But, you know, for timing, you might just leave it at that. Okay. So I'm going to go back to, let's see, number 3 again. Number 3 brush. Load it up. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I know my hand's not going to be in the right position, but I have to have it certain ways, otherwise it's not going to look very pretty. Okay, so thin to thick to thin.
Okay.
So next I'm going to follow that line there. So thin to thick to thin. Then I'm going to do like a parallel line, but just halfway. All right, I'm going to load up again. Let's see. Then I'm going to make a little swirl thing happening in that curve. Okay.
Oh, where you find your face practice pages. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the boards, Katie?
Then I'm going to do the internal parallel line.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to do another thin to thick to thin. Everything's going to meet down at the focal point. And then I'm going to do another swirl. Usually I try and do the left side first and then the right side. It's just how my brain works. If I do the left side, it's easier for me to copy that. And also the other thing is if I'm right-handed and I do the right side first, I might actually accidentally, you know, run my hand through it. So coming from that focal point, I'm going to come and do a swirl over here. It's just a little bit dry. And then my stars, I like to do those double lines. Then we can outline the brows.
Very nice. Oh, if you scroll up, Barbara, you'll see the previous links in chat on Zoom.
And then the other side. So I'm not exactly following that curve, because if I did that, it would intersect with these designs. But I'm still following, everything follows towards that focal point there.
Right. We have Argentina, Peru, Mexico, fair amount of Latin Americans.
There we go. And then we can put some dots around. Something like that.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. Any questions with that? Actually, I need to do a little bit more. Miss the detail, but you
Nancy
can always...
thinks that's very pretty.
Nancy?
Yes.
Nancy Wu? You're watching?
No, not Nancy Wu.
Okay, here we go.
Hello, Maryland.
Okay, so I'm gonna do sort of like a lightning kind of movement. So thin to thick to thin, and then join it up. Got this inspired by my park. Thin to thick to thin, and then join it up. So it doesn't look so, you know, like this is one line when it's so line heavy up here. Adding a few extra lines here makes it more balanced. So if you want to, you can put a little small gem there, but you know, you got a stencil there. So if you want it to, it'll have to be a gem that sort of only just lines that. Put a bit of glitter, all done. Okay. So that's that. Right. So we might do something like this next.
Okay.
Won't be exactly like that, but we'll take some.
So while you're switching designs, let me sort of discuss some of our upcoming webinars. So Jacqueline of Vivid Glitter fame is going to be doing fast Halloween designs. We're starting to get Halloween mode. Who knows where Halloween will really be, but hopefully there'll be a few designs. And then Pate De Leon is going to do on-the-job Halloween designs. Zuri, who's watching right now, is going to be doing monster designs. And Pam Kinnerberg is going to be the Halloween boy designs. And then Linnea Overby is going to be showing her Halloween design. So nonstop Halloween till Mandy Gibson's going to do Halloween 101. So we're going to have a lot of Halloween from here on out. So if you don't like Halloween, don't watch. So it'll be every Monday or Tuesday if you're in Australia at 5 in the morning.
Now, what color shall I use? This is my problem is I
I
have
think
so
your phone just died again.
oh, geez, somebody's trying to call again. Hang on.
You didn't put do not disturb. I thought you said you had do not disturb,
I did.
but it doesn't work. It's just absolutely not
Nobody
disturbing.
calls me, but when I don't want to be called, people call me.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep. Okay. So let me see. I just made something up. It's just one of my one strokes. So basically just make any of your one strokes and put them together. Okay, this time I'm going to do outline the eyebrows first. Let me see. It's going to be easier for me to tilt it just a little bit. Just bear with me. And I'll move it back.
Something's gone wrong with the camera yet again. Somebody calling you again?
Probably. Oh, geez, seriously.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Okay. So that's almost the center. Okay. So now I'm going to do like a, what do you call it? Scallop?
Sure.
Get more color.
It's your birthday calls. That's what somebody said.
Yeah, thank you.
So Barbara wanted to ask a question. Does it matter the white paint you use to go over the red?
Hang on, let me just do this. Got to concentrate.
Sure. Barbara thinks you're great, by the way.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. Sorry, what was the question?
The question was, does it matter which white paint you have going over the red? She says that her white paint always fades.
Oh, it'll happen. Like if you look at this one, you can see the pink coming through. And if you're really, really that fussy, like, you know, if I'm not on the job and I'm just practicing, I will actually go over it again once the paint has dried. Because if the paint hasn't dried yet, then it's gonna make it pink again. So let's see, I should have done this bit first. There was a little leaf thing here. Okay. And I'll just go back over that again because I'm fussy. How are we going with time, Blake?
Pretty good. We got 23 minutes left.
Okay, I'm going pretty fast actually.
Yeah, no, you're doing very well.
I might have to make something up on the go.
Well, we could after we finish the third design, we could stop there too. It's okay. It's not very...
like a really simple, just line work stuff. Okay, actually, I'm going to use, and I'm going to use your green.
You can call that leaf or something clever like that.
I love greens.
Who doesn't love green?
I love green. Okay.
Hello, Chili. Oh, The practice boards, I think I put the link up farther above, but I'll give them to you. I'll give it to you again.
So I'm just measuring it up again, just so that everything measures up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, goes to the focal point. And again to the focal point.
You know, that's an interesting question. Barbara asked the question whether I should give the materials in advance to practice with the teacher. I think the answer is probably the easiest way to do that, Barbara, because I never know what, and to be fair, the teachers don't entirely know what they're going to do by the time they get here. So I think the easiest way to do it is just to order it from your favorite website, facepaint.com, and then just do it when you're watching it. I think that's probably the easiest.
And you know, you could always replay.
Exactly. Because I think try to do it ahead of time. You know, like a lot of face painters, this is jazz. There's some out there in the world like Pam Kinneberg that know exactly what she's doing and how she's doing it. But a lot of face painters, there's different styles. And obviously Elaine, for one, she's making this up as she goes. I mean, she's got a few design ideas sketched out on a piece of paper, but it could turn into anything.
Yes.
If we said, by the way, we want this to be a princess vampire, she could do that.
I don't know about the vampire thing because I'm not big on Halloween. But if you do pretty stuff, sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very hard to say ahead of time.
I'm gonna do.
I did a lot of videos over the years, and I tried to list out stuff ahead of time, and it never worked out.
I'm gonna do another stencil. Maybe this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good one. Hello, Arkansas.
Okay, I'm going to spray, if you missed it before, I'm just going to spray my doorbell outside of my practice board, maybe twice or 3 times, and then I'm going to spray my paint like twice maybe. And then do that. You could run it around if you like, but I'm happy doing that. And then really important to test it, okay? And then if it's too wet, you know, it just, the excess moisture can come off your hand. Okay.
We'll say there, Honey is saying that you're a genius in playing with the color palette.
Oh, thanks. You know, sometimes it doesn't always work. Like I have so many different colors. And when I'm on the job, sometimes I pick the wrong combinations and it doesn't turn out so pretty.
Oh, never say that. There are no mistakes in art. They just aren't. It's just art. You meant to do it. Even if it's wrong, you meant to do it.
Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to do some outlines. I'm going to do an outline of that leaf shape thing first. So thin to thick to thin.
Mm-hmm.
Same on the other side. Okay. And then now we're going to do the middle bit. So if you find that you haven't got control of your brush, well, you can always do half and then half. But once you get better, you can do like thin to thick to thin, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you want it a bit brighter, you can go over it again.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the whole area, because there we go. All right. And I'm going to just embellish this a little bit here. And then put some lines. Okay. Now I'm going to do a little swirl up here and then on the other side. How's everybody's day today then?
What?
How's everyone's day today? Everyone doing well?
I think so. Nobody's saying anything. Someone says the color combos and wind strokes are stunning. You should actually launch a line. Well, we did. It's Crazy FX. And we have 30% off already. So feel free. Feel free. Get it on facepaint.com. It's great.
Have a line there. And then we're going to go the other side. And then do the internal parallel line. And then do a little flick thing here, like that. And then I'm going to do another swirl down here.
Mm-hmm.
Not ever have too many swirls.
Hani asked, what is the palette that you're using? I guess you're using a couple palettes, right? I mean, you've got kind of.
This was my own made up one.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was Your Green from the Craze palette.
Right.
Always keep looking on the other side. That's the key to being symmetrical.
Mm-hmm. How did you learn how to control lines? Faye says lines are the hardest thing to control.
Practice, it wasn't until I mean, if I look back a year ago, I'm sure my lines were nowhere like this. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really about practice. Have a look at who does really nice lines and watch how they do it and practice. And my line work is actually inspired by several people, and I just kind of use bits and pieces that I like out of each of them, and then also make my own style. And people say, but how do I find my style? I think you just kind of play around and you see what you end up liking.
Mm-hmm.
It's playing around, and by practicing, you come up with different techniques. Yeah, and sometimes it's a combination of a bit of this and a bit of that. You come up with your own style.
Somebody's calling you again.
Probably going, why is this person not reachable?
Can't you just put the moon on it or something?
I thought I did.
I don't know.
Let me see. The moon is on.
Okay.
Now what did I do?
I don't know. Well, I can see it now. If you could move it a little bit over to the shift it over to the left. There you go. Perfect.
The moon is on.
I don't know what's going on, but we've never actually had this many problems with a phone before.
Maybe full moon.
Okay.
Is it full moon?
I guess so.
Okay, well, there we go. That's, we're not quite finished yet, but there we go. And then we can do some embellishment up here. Hang on. I'm going to do some dots, so I need to make sure I've got, you know, enough paint at the tip to make dots.
Putting the moon on, it only makes it hold calls when the phone is off, not totally off, but clicked off.
Oh. Okay. So
how long have you been painting, Elaine?
I started the thought of even face painting when my daughter was like maybe 1.5, and she's now 10.
Okay.
Wasn't until maybe 2015 that I actually started making any money out of it. So let's see, I'm going to do some swirly bits at the bottom here now. So thin to thick to thin.
Mm-hmm.
And do it on this side as well, because otherwise if you add too many things, you lose perspective of like where it actually sits. Mm-hmm. So when I look at, for example, something like this that isn't necessarily straight, I actually look at like, you know, okay, it starts there, so I'm going to start the same spot, and then look, this is where it ends, which is almost halfway, so it needs to go about here. And I look at certain points on the face, so I know roughly where it's going to guide me. I don't just go, okay, well, that's where it starts, and I'll just wing it. So if you can find certain landmarks to guide you, it makes it much easier. I mean, that still doesn't make things perfect, but see, too much talking.
Yeah, no, that looks great.
And my brush is getting a bit gluggy, so sometimes you have to rinse your brush off when it gets too thick with paint. And then start again, because line work, when you have too much gluggy paint on it, it just doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to do a lot of those parallel lines again. This is my kind of thing. Okay, and then on the side. And then an internal one as well. All right, then I'm just going to do a few teardrops here. And now my hand's in the way. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
And then maybe a leaf or something, or whatever.
We can't see that exactly.
Yeah, I'll do it on the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Nice.
Something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful, says Maria.
And then nice gem on there, some glitter, bit of eyeshadow, or, you know, if you wanted to, if you were that kind of artist, some people, you know, they'll do like, you know, what do you call it? They'll get their little teardrop sponges and they'll do that. For the eyeshadow. I don't often do that because I'm not a sponge girl. So I prefer to just put eyeshadow. Or you can just leave it like this because there's plenty of color there already. You know, if you had time, you could always do extra bits.
Sure.
I mean, any day, if you were strapped for time, you could just leave that off.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to, you could put, you know, double dip flowers up here, over here, which is my kind of thing as well. Yeah, so that's it for that one.
That's great.
Let's see.
Well, we only have 7 minutes, so you want to
Well,
do
this one will probably take really quick. So do you want me to do something like this?
Sure, let's do it.
Make something else up.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Okay. So this one, I'm just going to do white. Okay. Oh, well, I don't know. Hang on. Okay, I need to steal the other one. There we go. Get my white. Or maybe I'll put a little bit of, I'll use a double dip technique so you can.
Oh, actually, someone suggested doing, Barbara Hill suggested just doing lines. Different lines. Just different lines.
Like the first one?
Well, just types of lines. I think sort of thin to thick and sort of, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay. Like what, just very basic stuff?
Like basic stuff.
Okay. All right. So
you might want to move your hand out of the way though.
Can I turn it then?
Well, yeah, that's fine. But again, you're putting your we need to see the brush. So you need to kind of paint, your hand needs to be kind of to the side.
All right, I'll lift it up a little bit. Is that better?
That's better. Except we can't see the brush tip.
So thin to thick. To thin.
Perfect. Okay, but if you could do that with like, imagine that, yeah, like hold it like that. There we go.
Yeah, maybe this way.
Okay. Now you're getting a call again. I never get this many calls. I need to have more people around me.
How many times was that then? Okay, so thin to thick to thin.
Mm-hmm. Like that. Okay.
You know, you need to be able to do it in all sorts of direction. You know, so to be a master, you have to be able to not just do it from top to bottom or left to right, but you know, in all sorts of direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see if I can do it now.
You can.
Talk about it and then not be able to perform.
No pressure. It's not that kind of group.
Hang on. I better put this on this side. Can you see? Sorry.
Yeah. No, we can see. I can see fine.
And don't be afraid, you know, if you have to go over things, just go over it.
Exactly.
You know? Like you said before, you know, it doesn't need to be perfect.
Nothing has to be perfect. And that's the number 3 round brush?
Number 3 round, but this is fairly small. You know, some brushes, a number 3 could be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
So thin to thin. Okay, and then you can go backwards, thin to thick to thin.
Mm-hmm.
Go this way. Or you can start from this way and go up.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Yeah. If I do circles, for example.
We can't see that part where your hand is right now. It's not on the camera.
Oh, hang on. Sorry. I'm not looking at.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, what about teardrops?
I'll swap my brush because this brush is too small for teardrops.
Mm.
So this one is number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Just loading up. Okay. So got that. Okay. But you also have to learn how to go the other way. Okay. So that's a drag and drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then do, sorry, drag. No, sorry, that's drop and drag. Sorry. And this is a drag and drop, but on a board, it's much harder. Let me do it in my hand.
Okay.
Wherever I can find some space. So that's a drag and drop.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do it on the board, it won't look quite the same.
Right.
Okay. You can make it more round, you can make it more pointy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very long and then drag and drop, or you can go. You see?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Well, we have reached the witching hour. And so I wanted to thank you, Elaine, and again, happy birthday, and to all your fabulous well-wishers who are now has been frustrated for the last hour not being able to get a hold of you. And thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will be back next week with starting the Halloween designs. So please join us and have a good evening or day, depending on where you are.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Bye-bye.
Bye.